Hi everyone, and welcome to the Knitknacker Natters podcast. I'm Fatima, and I'm coming to you from my parents' living room in London, United Kingdom. Hi, it's been forever since I spoke to you guys last, and I guess today's episode is a little bit about kind of me catching up with you guys. It's not going to be a proper full-on episode, but yeah, I just wanted to have a chat with you guys and let you know that all is well. And thank you to everyone who's been in touch over the past few months. I've really appreciated you guys getting in touch and just reaching out to me. So thank you all so much for that. So Knitknacker Natters is actually supposed to be a crafting podcast, and usually gets filmed in Singapore, where I am based. I'm originally from the UK, and I'm currently over here with family. I think for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I last podcast, I want to say almost 3 months ago now. Might even have been a bit more than that. We were in the midst of the Wonders of the World CAL, which was a 6-month knit along, crochet along, craft along that I was hosting alongside 5 other podcasts, and we were hopefully taking you along a journey of discovery of the fibre arts around the world. I was hosting Asia in March. I was here at the time, and I tried my best, but unfortunately, because of a lot of travel plans, etc., it was a little bit ad hoc. But thank you all so much for everyone who kind of tuned in. I tried to have some interviews and also put some stuff up on my blog, so you can still check that out and check out my previous episodes. So I guess I should be telling you all why I kind of disappeared for a while. After my trip here, I went back to Singapore, and a couple of weeks after I got back home, I got the news that my mum had been diagnosed with breast cancer. I know that a lot of my crafting sisters and crafting family have been through very similar things, but it really shocked me. And it was just something that kind of threw me, and I found very, very difficult to cope with, especially because I was just so far away. If you've tuned into previous episodes, you do know that I've shared with you guys in the past that I lost my best friend to breast cancer, and the miracles of modern medicine mean that people survive, but I think I still had that kind of imprinted on my brain, and so it was just, or it has been, a real struggle to get my head around things. I kind of shut myself off from everything and everyone, and completely lost my knitting mojo, which is why I haven't been particularly active on social media, and I wasn't particularly active towards the latter part of the Wonders of the World CAL, for which I do want to apologise, but I just couldn't get beyond what I was going through, and along with kind of things that life throws at you anyway, it has been a period which I've struggled with. The other hosts were fantastic at kind of letting me get on with my stuff and taking over. So a big shout out to all of you, Grace, Sally Jane, Dan, Kay, Shannon, and Connie for just being fantastic and getting the cowl to its final stage. I really, really appreciate it. I am gonna be in the UK for a bit, and yeah, I don't really know what else to kind of say about that. I just couldn't find the words really to share all of this with you, and I know it's something very simple and that a lot of people are affected by, but yeah, it was a bit of a stumbling block for me. So like I said, I kind of lost my knitting mojo, and I've probably picked up my knitting needles once or twice since then, without very much focus. I did kind of revisit the whole kind of crochet side of things, and for those of you who were kind of taking part in Wow Asia, I have mentioned, and I think I mentioned in an article I wrote for Dan and Kay, the Bakery Bears podcast newsletter, that in Singapore, and I think generally in Asia, crochet seems to be a much bigger thing than knitting. And often people are crocheting garments and shawls, or just doing a lot of charity knitting. There's a lot of people doing charity crochet, sorry, in Asia. And I kind of tapped in to some of the stuff that was going on in Singapore on the crochet front, very much on the sidelines, not really getting involved, but kind of peeking in just to find out a bit more about what was going on, and so that I could feel a bit more connected with people that I didn't know, and who didn't know me, so I didn't have to explain myself. Yeah, so just finding out about that kind of thing, that side of things. It was really eye-opening, because I learned a lot about the kind of yarn that people use, the types of things that they crochet, why, who for. So it's been really, really interesting, and I think that's probably helped me tap into kind of the crochet side of things. I haven't been particularly active on the crafting front, I have to be honest. I've got a couple of projects on the go, which I will share with you today. I've made some baby blankets, and that's pretty much it. But it's how it is for the moment, so I hope you guys will bear with. So I thought what I would do is show you a couple of the projects that I have here with me, that I am currently working on. I do have 2 knitting projects, but I don't have them down here. I've barely worked on them. I have a sock, just a plain kind of toe-up sock, and I have a shawl that has been on my needles for some time. So I've brought them along in the hope that I will be motivated to knit on them, but otherwise it's just crochet stuff. So I'm going to show you a baby shawl that I am currently working on. It's called the Whirl Shawl, and now can't remember who it's by, but I'm using Jepe's Whirl, which is a huge kind of 215 to 225 grams, 1,000 meters, and it's a cotton acrylic blend. I don't know if you can see that. So it's a gradient yarn. It looks very neon in the middle. It's a little bit neon, but it started off as a blue, went to like a turquoisey colour, and then it kind of goes out to a pink. The pattern, the whirl blanket that I'm crocheting is actually written specifically for this yarn, and one of the things that I've learned over the last couple of months is that a lot of crocheters here, I think, use more kind of acrylic based yarns, whereas in Asia tend to use more kind of cotton or cotton blend yarns, obviously because it's hot, it's humid, and it's easier to wear. This yarn is actually really easy to work with. It's twisted, and it's a gradient, as you can tell, and a lot of people use gradient yarns in the kind of circles that I've joined, and it's kind of really got me kind of yearning after gradients. Some of the yarn cakes have gradients that are not very subtle, so you kind of get very sudden colour changes, which I don't love, but they're okay. Something like this is actually really subtle because the new colour is actually plied into the old strand, and kind of you get more and more as you go along. I think it's probably more obvious if I show you what I've done. So this is what I have so far. It looks a bit funny because it's not blocked. It's really drapey. I'm using a 4mm clover hook. And I don't know if you can tell. So it starts off blue and then it becomes turquoise. And we've just started. Sorry, it's not focusing. It's focusing on me. Getting some yellow in there. So I don't know if you can see the yellow. There you go. So that's literally just come on in the last round. A very simple pattern. It's free. I think there might even be a paid version as well, but it's free. That's the other thing that I found about crochet patterns. There's a lot of free crochet patterns out there, and a lot of people who write crochet patterns will often do a free version, which is on their blog or something, and then they'll do a paid for pattern, which probably has kind of tutorials and things like that. I've not needed to purchase anything as yet, although I have my eye on a cardigan that is made using kind of gradient cotton, which I think looks really nice. It's kind of based on the granny square. But if I ever get around to making it, I will show you guys. So yeah, so this is the whirl pattern. I don't know if you can see. I love this detailing here. So these are actually popcorn stitches, but I just think it's just a cute way to do the corners. It's been stored in one of my new project bags. This is a lovely drawstring project bag by Gil Page, and her shop is called Bertie and Poppet. She's a UK based Etsy seller, and I love this because it reminds me of summer. And look at the inside, strawberries. It's kind of got a quilty feel. I have no idea if this is quilting, but it's really lovely, and it's just summery and bright. So it's been living in this bag here. So that's one of my crochet projects. The other one that I've been doing, I'll talk about the yarn first. So I haven't made a lot of kind of yarn purchases, but I have, well, at least I've not ordered out for yarn purchases, but I got involved in a couple of destashes to try and get my hands on these gradient yarns that people were using. And this one is this brand of yarn. Now I'm going to butcher it. I think it's called Voltrum. It might not be called Voltrum at all. Oh, that might not be how you pronounce it. It's a very popular yarn, again from a dyer here in Europe. I want to say Netherlands, but it might not be Netherlands. And she does these yarns that come in kind of 3-ply, 4-ply, 5 and 8-ply or something like that, and you can get your yarn cakes in various lengths, so like, I don't know, oh sorry, weights, and then you get the kind of length alongside it, so like 100 grams, 150, 200, 500, and I've realised that a lot of people who crochet shawls in Asia tend to kind of use about 500 grams worth of yarn. So look at this gradient. It's my colours. And someone was destashing this, so I just had to get my hands on it. It's called My Melody Special Number 1, and it's 150 grams. It's 50% cotton, 50% polyacryl, 570 meters. It's Voltrum.com. And if you can see with this yarn, it might not be so obvious because of the focus, it's not actually plied. And I not really worked with kind of yarn that's not plied before. So initially I started working or using something very similar to this. And I started using, I was using a kind of higher crochet hook because I had the higher set. And I just found that it might be technique, it might just be the hook. It was very difficult to kind of crochet because I kept splitting the yarn because it's just so easy to do, or leaving a strand behind. Using the clover hooks has really helped. This has a strand of stellina. So one strand is purple stellina, and that purple stellina kind of runs throughout. I am making, so this is a 4-ply yarn, and I've kind of got through one colour change, if you can tell. I'm making the Secret Paths shawl. The stellina is a bit more obvious now. And again, I can't remember if there's a paid for pattern, but I'm using the free pattern. I've had one colour change. It's relatively straightforward. It's quite pretty, and I really can't wait to see it finished. Each of these yarn cakes comes with a stitch marker, which I just didn't take off. I will try and put some links below. But yes, so I'm quite enjoying that. The crochets and the groups that I've joined suggested that this was a relatively straightforward pattern for someone who's not really kind of crocheted shawls per se. So yeah, I mean, I am not following diagrams. I am using the written instructions, and it's really straightforward. And I think kind of the double crochet in the front of the chain and the back of the chain really kind of gives it dimension, and so it's not a boring flat piece, which is really lovely. Just got a bit of a light change there. So this is one I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially as the kind of the colour changes move forward. I should mention this is machine washable yarn. So yeah. And the last kind of project that I have here that you guys have seen, and I kind of got to a point and then haven't really done very much, is my corner to corner rainbow blanket that I had started doing during the Wonders of the Wild Cow for my son. So I am now on to the second ball, and the gradient should be going backwards. So yeah, I think we're just starting the green section there. So I'm decreasing. I lost enthusiasm for the project. I think it was just around the time that I found out about my mum's news and stuff. So I don't think, and then I've kind of just gotten into these kind of other gradient cotton yarns and stuff. So I've brought it with me because I would really like to finish it. And my son seems to like it every time he sees it. He tries to pull it away from me. So that's endorsement, I think. So I should mention what I'm using. I'm using some fine fish yarns, Irish dyer, and this is one of her gradient cakes. So it doesn't show up very well, but yeah, it's a rainbow gradient, and I had 2 cakes that I had bought. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook. I should mention that the yarn is 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, 425 meters and 100 grams. So yeah, those are the projects that I am working on. Slowly but surely. I often feel that by the end of the day I'm just physically and mentally exhausted, so I've not really been crafting that much, but I try to do a row or 2 here and there, which is kind of why I mentioned that this is not like a full-on podcast. Okay, so that's pretty much what I've been working on the crafting side. Sorry, slight change of scenery because my son is now awake. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about what I've been doing in my absence, although I've not been crafting. I think my crafting life is very much associated with my mum, because she taught me to knit, and I guess I was trying to do something to take me away from all of that, or the reality of what was going on in life. So I've been putting a lot of my time and energy into a project that has kind of been taking shape and form for some time, for several months. And a couple of months ago maybe, I launched a wellness brand called Knitknacker Wellness, which is all about kind of empowering and educating people to take their health and wellness into their own hands. I'm a firm believer of kind of taking ownership of the choices that we make in life, and I think that's especially true for health. I'm not saying that I'm in any way, shape or form superbly healthy or well or fit, but I'm on a wellness journey, and I'm hoping that I can empower, educate and influence other people. Now, for some time I've been using essential oils. I've briefly mentioned this in the past actually, and one of the things that I have done kind of in conjunction with the wellness brand is to launch my own essential oil blends line. So that's kind of been taking up a lot of my kind of energy, I guess. I have been studying kind of aromatherapy, as the science of essential oils, for a while. We've been using essential oils at home. Essential oils are kind of aromatic compounds that are plant-based, that our body kind of recognizes because they're made in the same chemical form as our own kind of cellular structure. and hence they can be so beneficial to our body. I really believe that alternative medicine, most forms of alternative medicine, have a place as an adjunct alongside kind of traditional Western medicine. And I guess I've been exploring that and applying it to my own life. I think I've always been so excited about the things that I learn that I share it with other people, and that's kind of how my essential oils line came into being. I'm really sorry. I've created my own recipes. Most of my blends, I have a line of 12. Most of my blends are for therapeutic purposes as opposed to kind of emotional. So kind of using my medical knowledge in conjunction with the aromatherapy side of things. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to share that with you. My blends are over on my website, which is knitknackerwellness.com, and they ship internationally. They're pre-blended, so easy to use, mostly in kind of 10ml roller bottles. So very easy to apply with instructions. Did I mention I ship internationally? I do. So really, they're available to anyone wherever you are in the world. These are all kind of blends that have come up because I've used them at home. I've created blends for specific reasons that we've needed to use blends for, or people have asked for blends, they found them useful, and therefore they've kind of made their way onto my standard line. Out of the 12, I have 11 roller bottles and 1 inhaler. And if you're in the UK, the 11 roller bottle blends are available from me. Just get in touch either by email, message me through Facebook or Instagram. My brand at Knitknacker Wellness is pretty much the same name that I use on all social media for this side of my life. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm really interested in creating a community around health and wellness. You know, being good isn't easy all the time. You know, I've started trying to eat clean, and kind of doing more exercise, drinking more water, and for me, I've just felt that it makes me a better person. It makes me a better mum, a better wife, and it gives me that kind of control that I felt I was losing for a while. So it's just helped me to kind of reclaim all of that. I would love to hear from people who have stories that they would like to share, because I do have a blog attached to my website which I want to create into a community. So I'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch. Everything is pretty much still kind of in its beginning phases, and yes, normally I'm based in Singapore, and a lot of my kind of education side of things takes place over there. But I'm happy to do kind of web series, video vlogs, Facebook live sessions if people are at all interested. So thank you so much for kind of sticking with me so far. And again, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's reached out to me. I wanted to use today as kind of an explanation, I guess, of where I'm at, what I've been doing, the fact that I've been missing you guys loads. But it's just been difficult for me to reach out in the way I would have maybe liked to. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to podcast, so I'm not making any promises. but I hope that I can be a little bit more active on social media and keep in touch with you all. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So thank you again. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. There will be stuff coming along. I'm just not 100% sure when. And I hope to chat to you all soon. Bye bye.